A bookshelf is more than its storage. It is a collection of journeys, ideas, and dreams. Join us on the bookshelf on EBS television as we explore inspiring stories, timeless classics, and the ideas that shape our world.
We are also part of
Dear viewers, welcome to the program, The Bookshelf. I am Chelsea Shaw, your host, and with me here in the studio, it's an amazing, beautiful guest. Her name is Success Asuji. She is a teen development coach and also an author. How are you?
Hi, thank you.
Glad to have you this afternoon. So how was the journey to this place? I hope it wasn't stressful.
Not stressful. Just the traffic.
All right, my amazing viewers, once again, welcome to the program. Today's segment is going to be focusing about teen development. Now, teenage years is one of those most important years that is actually very, very important in the development of human life, especially the youth. It's a period where the young people discover their identity. Not only discovering their identity, they also develop their talent, they form relationship, and not also forming relationship. They take time to ask questions because they are curious about what the future holds for them. But however, most of the youths, they have some certain challenges. Challenges such like peer pressure, family pressure, academic performance, social media influence, and all of that. So I want to ask my guest here with me in the house, Success Asuji, as a teen development coach, how can youth, become a responsible person and future leader?
First thing first, you need to understand that the teen phase is not just a phase. Because we have an understanding that as a teenager, that teenage age is just a phase where they pass and they do what they just do to transform into adult. But as a teen development coach, I have understood something that phase is a transition phase. So, and it's a very important phase where character is being built. That's the major phase where development takes place in an adult. So for anyone to be a very good adult or to grow up to become a proper adult in society, they need to undergo proper building in that teen phase. They need to undergo a proper transition in that teen phase. And that's where the society, the parenting, the teachers in school, the mentors, that's where everyone come in to play a better role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, what are those positive values, those factors that a teenager needs to possess before he or she comes into adulthood?
Integrity.
Integrity.
Very important.
So outside integrity, tell me why should that teenager possess integrity?
Now, a teenager that lacks integrity, first of all, because integrity is not just about telling the truth.
Yeah.
It's being true to yourself and true to people out there. So, a teenager that lacks integrity will definitely go out tomorrow to become an adult that cannot be trusted. Yes, and when you cannot trust an adult, you cannot build anything on that adult because people work with someone they can trust.
Okay.
Even as a business person, for instance, you cannot give your money to someone you cannot trust. Audience don't buy from people they don't trust, even in our social media stage and years now. So that's what happens. Integrity is a very important value. Every growing child, every teen must have.
Okay, I like your take. Now, how can a teenager now balance academics, personal relationship, and other space of life? How can that teenager be able to balance this three factors?
The three together.
Yes.
All right. Now, for balancing is very important. So
I know that area can be very, very cumbersome,
Yeah.
difficult, especially when there are other factors coming in, or maybe there are some distractions.
there will be distractions.
There'll be distractions. So that's the reason why I asked
Definitely
you,
be distractions.
how can a teenager be able to balance these three facets?
Okay. Thank God you're talking about a teenager. That means they still need
A
help.
teenager that is also growing into an adult.
An adult. So
They tell you adult is from 18 years, especially in Nigeria and the British.
Yeah.
But other countries like Israel, I think it's 21. So
Yeah.
an adult now, a teenager now growing into adult, how can he or she balance these three different facets?
okay, balancing is something that they will need the help of an adult, someone else to help them.
That means a guide.
A guide.
Guidance.
A
Okay.
guide. Because they are just entering this new phase.
Okay.
They are about to enter the phase of adulthood. So they cannot do it on their own. That's where parents comes in.
Are you telling me that without parents, without teachers, these teenagers cannot balance it?
How would they know the right thing to do? How would they know the right step to take? I've been there.
Okay.
You've been there. You're an adult. So let's say we have a teenage, somebody around the age of 14, 15, trying to balance schoolwork, being a child at home, another activity all around. Now, because you've been there, you have your experience, and you know better, way better. You can easily give them guide that will help them navigate through that process. But leaving them to journey them by themselves, they will definitely make a flop of everything.
I agree with you. Now, how it's reading. You know this program promotes reading culture and the essence of books. Now, how is reading important to the development of a teenager growing into adults? How is reading important?
You know, books has helped me,
Okay.
and book can help anybody.
I like that.
But there's a challenge we have in our generation. Who reads?
That is the reason why I asked that question.
Who reads? Who
That's the
reads?
reason
So
why I
that's
asked
the
the
challenge we have.
question.
But then there's something I often do for my teenagers those around me. I try as much as I can to introduce book.
As a teen development coach.
Yes. Monthly.
And as an author, you have to do it.
I have to. So because somebody asked me a question recently, I was like, "You're into is there money in writing, Seth? Who reads book nowadays?" And I smiled. Even if a million of people don't read books, but developing them is very important, and that's why I had to introduce book review. So in a month, I get a book I want them to read. Let's say The Purpose Driven Life. Tell them, then we have a day, we come together, we do the review together. From there, they learn from me, they learn from other teenagers, and they get interested in about reading. Oh, this thing is interesting, I learned so much from this. The next month, I bring another book again. They continue that. So from there, they get to learn things that they naturally will not get in everyday conversations.
Okay, now let me ask you. You see, as a teen development coach, you just say that you always try to bring in books. You try to create time for your friends,
Yeah.
your teens, you guys read together. Now, you made mention of interesting. What if that book is not interesting? How do you now get their attention for them to show more interest in that book, for them to listen to your instructions, especially when the book is not interesting? No, the book may not be interesting, but it may be didactic, it may be moral. We have different perspective.
Yeah.
Your likes may be different from my
Yeah.
likes. And there are some teenagers who are like, oh, I don't like hearing stories that has to do with too much of moralistic. I don't like to hear, they want to watch films, like maybe horror films and all of that. So those kind of teenagers that are quite difficult. How are you able to control those kind of teenagers? How are you able to get their attention to, get interested in that book? Even though it is not interesting, but it's didactic. It is moral. It's something, that will plant a good seed in them. That in the future, they would remember, oh, it is because of this auntie. But now they may not know the value. So how are you able to draw their attention, to get interested in such kind of book, even when it's not interesting?
Okay. In that kind of situation, now they don't we have an understanding they don't like the book. They don't have interest at all. So I will not force them into reading it at first. Now I break it down.
Okay.
So instead of making it, growing up personally, I never enjoy reading voluminous books.
Yeah, I do. I love reading.
And I never love reading voluminous books. So what I do is, for something like that, you can start with a chapter.
Okay.
Now there's no law that says you must start with chapter 1.
Okay.
Some books, maybe the most important part or some interesting parts can start from chapter 5. Let's pick out that chapter.
Okay.
Let's review that chapter.
Okay.
From there, this thing, I learned something from it. Next week or next month, we are going chapter 7. We pick it out. You get?
Yeah.
That way, they are building their interest gradually. And some other occasions, you may have to just go with, they don't like the book. You start from what they like. For those that hate reading generally, just start from
Like
what they
those
like.
ones that we tell you that why should I read? Is there any need of going to school? Education is a scam. There's no need of going because I was a teacher in the 4 walls of the classroom. I taught English literature and other subjects.
Wow.
So there were some times I heard from some student out there that told me, there's no need of going to school. Education is why should I even read? There are so many people out there that are rich, they have big money. I don't want to mention names. They say they didn't even go to school, so there's no need of going to school. There's no need of reading at all. So how are you able, as a teen development coach, how are you able to change the mindset of such kind of teenagers? That would be very, very difficult. They are adamant. I don't want to use the word deviant. So how are you able to change the mindset of those people?
Funny how
It will be very difficult for you to drag such type of teenagers into your circle.
But funny how those kind of teenagers are the ones I actually have interest in. most times.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have interest in it.
I have interest in them, and I'm able to work with most of them, and some of them rather. And over time, we tend to become good friends.
It's always like that. After the war, we become friends, we become peace.
Yeah, because speaking of what you just said about school, or studying school has come now. Why should I go to school?
Yeah, why should
Somebody
I go to
asked
school?
me that question during my NYC, where I was like, I teach currently. So during my NYC, a child asked me, then I called the child out. I gave the child a marker where I write a particular figure in figure now. I mentioned an amount of money, I write it in figure. It was lost. He could not write it. Then I had to call him. I said, now you see the reason why school is not a scam. Even if you make millions from any business you want to do, how will you know how to calculate your money? Somebody can say, steal your money. So that child learned that thing. Until I left my service here, it was always concentrating in my classes.
Oh.
So there are ways you introduce these things to them. You don't hit it back to them that you don't know what you're doing, you're foolish, or you don't know what you're doing.
No, you don't have
You
to
bring
say.
it, yes, you bring them out and let them see why.
And I think that is one big mistake some teen development coach and teachers make when they are trying to get attention of the teenager or student or teacher, or trying to impact moral values or academic performance or knowledge. They just go as far, they just start insulting. I remember those days.
They're
when
wrong.
I don't insult my students. I don't insult them. That's why I talk to them. Even some of my colleagues then, they were like, Chelsea, why are you the only teacher in this school? Like, you don't flog students. You don't beat them. I said, no. I was warned by my parents not to lay my hands on any child, and it's not mine, not to flog the child, because you don't even know who among them have health problems. That child. I always have my ways in handling such students. If I notice that you are the type that makes noise in my class, and when I'm teaching, I'll tell you, stand up. There was a time they were calling me auntie, stand up. I'll tell you, stand up. And you remain standing till I'm done with my teaching.
Yeah.
If I notice that standing up is not working for you, I'll call you out to come and kneel down, pick pin. If those ones are not working, then I'll tell you to do front jump around the school compound. By the time you're done doing front jump, of course, your waist will start speaking in tongues. Then you don't need anybody to tell you that you need to sit right. So those were one of these tactics I was using, to discipline myself. I never lay my hands on students. I don't flog students. It's quite appalling that some teachers, some team development coach, and some teachers, they feel okay when they smack the student, when they insult. Some of them go as far as even making reference to their parents. I'm not sure your parents brought you well. Maybe your mother is like you. That's wrong. It's quite derogatory. You cannot get the best from that student, from that child where you are too aggressive. No, I don't think that's the best thing. All right, my amazing viewers, in case you're just tuning in, this is the program, The Bookshelf. Stay tuned, don't go away. We'll be right back in the G feed.
A bookshelf is more than its storage. It is a collection of journeys, ideas, and dreams. Join us on the bookshelf on EBS television as we explore inspiring stories, timeless classics, and the ideas that shape our world.
Are also part of
Welcome back to the program once again, The Bookshelf. All right, my amazing guest. How can a teenager handle criticism, peer pressure, and other challenges from his or fellow teenagers? There are sometimes there's some teenagers that have friends. They exist common saying, say, I'll show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. But there are some teenagers that are like, oh, this is what is bringing now. This is the kind of friend I should keep. There's some teenagers, they have a way of trying to, to persuade their fellow teenagers. Even when they know what they're doing is not right, it's wrong. And they feel like, okay, this person should join our clique. I don't want to mention some names of some persons that I know. I even tried to see how I could counsel them. And they were like telling me, oh, does your moralistic Golden Mary, we are not ready, please. So those kind of teenager, how can such kind of a teenager be able to deviate his or herself away from such circle, facing such challenges?
You need to know the right thing in order to say no to the wrong thing. So if that child does not have an understanding of what is right and what is wrong, definitely that child will be tempted to want to accept or agree to the pressure coming from their friends. Now, one thing I've come to understand is that, you see, peer pressure is not just peculiar to teenagers. All levels go through peer pressure. Both the rich, the poor, the old, the young. It's peer pressure, it's not teenagers pressure. It's peer. So the thing is, that's where I'll still say it loudly, that's where adults come in, parents. you need to let your child or the teenagers around you, may not be your child necessarily, let them understand the right from the wrong. Because when they'll be in their schools, you will not be there with them to tell them to say no. But when they know the right thing from the wrong thing, even when you're not there, they can boldly say no to some of those pressures coming from their friends, their classmates, whoever. So making them understand the right first from the wrong is the beginning of anything you want to do.
I agree with you. So parents has a lot of role to play.
Yeah.
All right, now, as a teen development coach, how can teenagers, discover their talents and their purpose?
All right, I'll speak as a Christian. I know, but now starting from
But this question is very vital.
very
It's
important
vital.
because I came to
Because it
realize
goes a long way in the life of the teenager.
I came to realize that many people today, many adults tend to find their purpose when they're already in university, whereas some other persons tend to find that at an early age. The earlier the better. So
Like you know what you're called for. You know you're calling is teaching. That's the reason why you swing into teen development coach. Teaching a writing. You've already discovered your purpose in life. You've discovered your talent. And you've been working on it. And it's already producing results.
the earlier the better. The earlier the better. So now how do you know what you are good at? Start from your strengths. Growing up, I knew I love talking. Though as at then, though they tagged it, you talk too much, you talk too much. And if I didn't get knowledge,
You're not you want to become a speaker? You want to become a
I never knew
broadcaster?
ahead. You see, so because I knew those things, I had to realize that okay, not that I just love talking. I love being in a space where I can educate somebody.
Sure.
Even as a very young teenager, I love being in a space where I can impart knowledge. I just love imparting knowledge, even if you don't pay me for it.
Because you have the passion. And that was what kept me on.
I can just
Because
do
there were
it.
some certain person that were even trying to distract me. What are you even gaining from this teaching? You just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
Morning to evening.
You keep marking script. What are you gaining?
So
But
that
there's
was
one
it.
important thing. There's one important thing. It's not just talking. What are you saying? Does it make sense? Is it impactful? Is it the that? Is it something that's going to add value to
So
the
the next
person's
person,
life?
yeah. So I just observed this is what I love doing. I kept at it. I kept doing it. I kept looking for any opportunity I have to just come out and impart knowledge. I keep doing it. You see. So for that thing, I want to know, how do I know what I'm? Everybody has something they are good at.
Sure. I agree
So
with you.
find out what are those things you are good at. Start using it. Service. Start doing those things. You can, if you are, let's say you go to church, you can look for a way, any department in your church, for instance, where you can implement that your talent. You love singing. Why not join the choir? You can start from there.
Then you can become a superstar tomorrow.
You can, no. Then the good thing is that you may not always end. You may not end up
And
as
if you
a,
like calculations, you may end up becoming an accountant. If you are the type that knows how to argue, you know how to portray a friend, this is the reason why you should go like this, this is the reason why you should not go like
You know where you
this. You
should
may
be.
end up becoming either a human rights activist or maybe a lawyer.
So,
or
yeah. So
something
those things you know you are good at. Look for an avenue to put them together.
together. All right, my amazing viewers, I hope you've been having a nice time with us on today's show. I told you today's show is going to be focusing on teen development. And I hope you had a nice time with my guest too, Success Asuji. She's a teen development coach and also an author. All right, Success, what's your parting words to our viewers before we draw the curtains close?
All right. So everyone watching us right now, whether you are a parent, you have your own child or not, so the parent first, everything around you, take that thing as your child. Try as much as you can to imbibe good values to that child. Don't say it's not my biological child, so I don't have a business. I don't have a child yet, but everything that is around me, everything that is around me, as much as I can drop value into their life, I do that. And as a teenager, you have any question, look for trusted adults.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Because this phase is where you have numerous questions you want to know. Don't ask wrong friends. Don't ask wrong company. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Success Asuji. That's my amazing guest. All right, before I draw the curtains close, I would like to tell you, as a teenager, make sure you try to discover your talents, your purpose in life, and be confident. Don't allow anyone to distract you. Work on it, stand by it, let your yes be your yes and let your no be your no. And please take note, the words of elders are words of wisdom. I'll see you again in 7 days' time, God's willing. This is The Bookshelf. I am Chelsea Oshaw. I've been your host. Thank you.
A bookshelf is more than its storage. It is a collection of journeys, ideas, and dreams. Join us on The Bookshelf on EBS Television as we explore inspiring stories, timeless classics, and the ideas that shape our world.